Sevian and I were lovers.
Mm.
Hell hath no fury
And,
like a woman scorned, I guess.
Don't even.
Yeah, Cedric, quiet.
We had a common goal. We walked the same path. We walked the same path. And then, when it came to saving an entire village, my dear Sevian showed his colors. And he has traded... He's traded his soul for a lot of power. Let's say that.
You need to say more, Halaser. I need to know what the dwarves are at risk of.
Your people are at risk of being used for whatever his purposes are. He waited until the most opportune moment for him. This is difficult.
I understand, but it is important to our mission.
I know. Our very last time questing together, again, at the moment that I could have saved all of those people, he shot me.
What?
He shot me. I don't even understand what the poison was. I don't care. I couldn't move, and I was forced to watch as he chose money and he chose power over all of those lives. If that was not enough, he then tossed me into the river. It is only by the luck, and she back nods over to Owlet, of some very good people that I live. He is not to be trusted. He is to be judged for his actions.
Oh,
And she started smoldering again.
I understand. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, that's going to be a little tough, Connor says, considering it sounds like he's being lauded as a hero right now.
Yes.
What are the odds that he's behind it being stolen in the first place just to gain their favor?
I would bet a lot of money on that.
Why would he
I would
need
bet
favor
his
from the
life
dwarves?
on that. I'm sorry, what?
Why would he need favor from the dwarves? I mean, why do it?
He wants to be king. He was trying to get favor with King Kine to get Orzamar's good faith vote to make him the next king of Ferelden.
That's right, Connor says. The council. The council, from what I know from what Gwenaël said, is when they decide who their next ruler is, they were going to ask the rules of Ferelden, including Orzammar.
So assuming he did this, I mean, so I guess he didn't do any harm except, fake this. So we have to prove that he faked it?
That would make sense if the Anvil of the Void was never used, Connor.
Oh, or we could get him by himself and make sure that he never becomes king, yes?
Yes.
So we kill him, or we out him and ruin his political career?
I
Which one?
think we would seem the villains if we killed him without evidence. We have Hallie's word, and we all trust Halaser, the dwarven people.
That's why we do it separated. We get him alone, and then we can make sure he never becomes king, because it sounds like he shouldn't be.
And then we're the murderers that walked into Orzammar.
No one would know.
I think it would feel a little more satisfying if we debunked him, sort of made him come crashing down, proved that he was bad, a traitor, liar.
Halaser, you have history with the man. I'm curious as to your take on this.
Throughout all this discussion, she's, of course, started smoldering again. Yeah, she's definitely not being herself right now. She has never looked so sickened and so like I need to take a walk right now, kind of like, oh my god. It's also very notable that at this point she has neither said much nor said any sort of chant or anything like that. She's having her own little moment of crisis, shall we say, because every time Andrea's just like, you, me, let's go off, she's like, yeah, let's go off and I'm going to judge the heck out of him. And, you know, but Theo's probably right. I don't want Theo to be right. So she's you can barbecue off of her. You can barbecue.
I'm just thinking, like, what kind of king would he be for Ferelden? Yes.
Oh, I
The kind
completely
to sell
agree.
to the highest bidder.
Yes. That is my homeland, and I would like very much to maybe not let an evil little prat be king of my home.
He
be
wouldn't
nice.
be. He wouldn't be king either way, though. If we outed him, the king would certainly revoke his favor.
How would we do that? It would be so much more simple to just kill him.
Get the feeling Halaser might agree with you on that.
I don't. Connor kind of rubs the back of his neck as if he looks very uncomfortable about this conversation. But that he doesn't say anything.
I don't know if that's a good idea, because what if the dwarves are implicated in his death? Like, he just disappears in Orzammar? I mean, wouldn't you rather expose him to the world and show him how evil he is? To not just the dwarves, but Thedas.
There's nothing saying that we can't do both. Expose him, then kill him.
Then kill him, yeah.
Best of both worlds.
I am not thinking clearly. I will need to follow your lead.
Halaser, I realize that this is difficult for you, so I need to ask. If we go into that feast, would you be safe?
Would we want to reveal her? Should we keep her a secret? I mean, if we have her with us, he's going to know that we know that he's bad.
Exactly, that could make him squirm.
I have held my tongue to protect people. I can't promise that with him. If I need to remain behind so as not to jeopardize this, I will.
I think it would be smart to keep her behind. She'd be like our ace in the, I don't know how the phrase goes, pocket, sleeve, hole. I mean, she would be like our secret.
Well, what is our goal in going into this dinner?
I'm with Andrea. If we walk in without any kind of leverage and just start questioning him, then we have nothing.
I don't even understand how it is he managed to put himself in line to be king. He is not of any sort of noble bloodline.
Well, he sounds like
Although in the past that has not mattered.
a player of the game, is all. Yes? And he sounds like a good player of the game. We just have to be better.
Doesn't.
So he's probably made promises to the Carta.
Oh, certainly, right? That's how, or at the very least, he paid them. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which means the Carta are only involved indirectly.
Right.
And she starts storming off and pacing.
Is there any way I could use my bracer to give her like a calming light, just so she can like gather her thoughts at least?
Roll a magic roll,
I
please.
don't know if I can even do that. Oh my gosh. Hopefully I don't make her even more mad. 13, but I stunted with the 4.
You tried. So you use your bracer towards Halaser's direction. Halaser, of course, you're still raging, and you probably will still be very upset. But
I wanted to
You
like grab her
feel-
hand. Sort of.
you feel, yeah. If you grab her hand, you might start to pull away, or you might react to it. But you're from within. You feel this warm, not raging, fiery warmth, but more like a comforting warmth that starts to ease you, not completely, but it starts to soothe you slightly, so that you're at least starting to think clearer, but you're still, of course, very ticked off.
Yes.
So it's not enough. It's not enough for you to be like wrench your arm away from Kenna, because you feel you feel eased enough to not, do that to her.
Sure.
What about if the rest of us do some recon? We enter the feast, we assess the situation. We might be able to get some information on how he claims to have taken the anvil back, or...
All right.
What sort of man is he in public?
Yes.
Charming.
Does he
Well,
like flattery?
Hmm?
Does he like flattery?
Yes.
Well, I'm no good at that.
Can
he knows me. We've met. We built a rapport. I might be able to get a conversation with him based on
I'll
that.
see with Hallie if you guys want to do some recon.
has he ever been to Winter?
He didn't mention as such to me. Hallie?
Hark.
You do not know. Well, roll me a cunning. Roll me a cunning. Let me see if you do know. Just a straight up cunning.
No, she's
You
too
do
angry.
not know. You have no idea if he has. You know that he is well traveled. It's very possible. You wouldn't be surprised if he
Sure.
sent it to Venter, but you don't know for sure.
I don't know. We traveled together. We didn't make it to Deventer. I don't know if he did or not.
Curious. Would meeting someone, would he want to talk to someone he knows is famous?
Powerful. Yes. Famous. I think the powerful overrides that.
Powerful / influential, Halaser.
I have some.
Very big emphasis on influential.
Because I have some pretty powerful friends.
I would call, because if you remember, he had close ties with Cain, and Cain is powerful, but I would say he's more influential than powerful.
Sure.
Does she know about that he was close to Cain? Because that's crazy.
Halaser does.
Right.
Well, Halaser knows that close enough to Cain to know that he was given a special invitation to the ball.
Right.
But beyond that, I don't know if she knows anything really about his relationship with Cain, or what constitutes as this relationship with Cain.
Yeah, not enough to actually make note of it, especially, I should think.
That would be messed up if his name got mentioned, because Theo would be like, hang on a minute, I didn't know that.
Thea, what have you done?
I did nothing.
Just... And finally, her flames are starting to die down. I don't want you in the same position I was in, Andrea. Just be careful.
I'm just curious, because if the idea is to get information from him, why would he give it to us unless we give him a reason to?
Money and power.
Well, he's going to be king by the sounds of it, so he's got plenty of that.
We may be able to get more information once we're there. We're not going to know anything unless we try.
So we are trying to get what information exactly? What is the plan?
Well, as I say, let's see if we can figure out from people there, if not him himself, what this story is as to how he's retrieved the anvil, how he has put himself in this position. And, well, as I say, I've met the man myself. I may be able to approach him.
Cedric, you've been quiet. What do you think?
I think any information is good information right now, just so we can get a basis. I don't think we should approach him at first. Maybe get a feel from the crowd, see what they know. Maybe we can get a little bits of information that we can use later for when we actually talk to him. But I do think recon would be the best option.
I agree.
Halasair, would you like to stay here?
It is wisest for me to do so.
You shouldn't stay alone.
I'll stay with her.
However you like.
Okay.
I don't need to be alone. I don't need to be guarded. So if you're needed, go.
It's fine. I don't think we should come to the feast with a tree anyway. So.
Or bear. He might eat everything.
Yes.
Everything.
I won't be able to go to the feast, but what if there is another tree there for me to meet?
I can pretty reliably assure you that there will not be.
Oh, that's disappointing. No feast should be complete without possible mates.
Trees don't come to the feast, I'm afraid, my friend.
He's so great.
With that, he sort of like kicks the ground, like, oh, nuts. He kicks the ground.
Oh,
Worst
like,
feast
abandon
ever.
our mission. Let's just find this tree a date.
Yeah.
The tree will then say, I should probably make myself inconspicuous. And then he transforms back into his tree, which still looks really odd down here in Orzammar, having this random tree just there next to Halasair.
Oh, that's so great.
I'm not going to tell him, Connor says. You guys can tell him, or just leave him be.
I think we
Just
should
leave
just
him.
leave it.
Just leave him.
Oh, I don't
You
know.
do you.
Connor,
Maybe there's a
Connor is kind of powerful, or he has powerful friends.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I guess I'm brothers with Gwenail, and my dad was the Arl of Redcliffe, now
What's the
New
plan?
Denerim.
Just kind of wave Connor in front of him?
No, you're just saying it's something that's there.
That's true. That's a point. Who knows? We're not going to know until we get in there. We can assess the situation.
All right, let's do it then.
Before Cedric goes up, he'll walk over to Halasair and put his hand on her shoulder and say, "The ones who repent, who has faith, unshaken by the darkness of the world, she shall know true peace." And then he'll point to the door where the feast is and say, "Those who bear false witness and work to deceive others know this: there is but one truth. All things are known to our Maker, and he shall judge their lies."
We have forgotten, in ignorance stumbling. Only the light in this darkened time breaks. And she walks off.
Okay, so the people who are going to the feast, as far as I understand, is Andrea, Connor, and Cedric?
Yeah,
How about
Cedric's going.
Theoben? Theoben's going too?
Oh, yeah.
And Kenna is or is not?
No, I'm staying behind.
You're
with
staying
Esbjorn
behind.
and
Okay.
Hans there.
All right. So I'll start with the people going to the feast first. So you guys will make your way over to the main gates of the castle, and one of the guards will say, "Theoben, I haven't seen you around these places." Just some random dwarf that's guarding the castle.
Hi.
You're late for the feast.
Yes. Well, I picked up a few friends.
He looks around and he will nod. Business associates, I assume?
More like friends.
He then says, "Well, technically, the only people that are allowed in are merchants and any possible business associates."
Do you think I'd have any friends that aren't merchants? Come on.
Okay, he says, that's what I figured. All right, in you go then, he says as he opens the gates.
Okay.
As soon as you open, you immediately smell the smell of roasted nug, and the smell of some definitely the smell of alcohol in the air. Pretty much roasted nug and alcohol is in the air.
Yeah.
And you get taken to the banquet room, the banquet hall of the castle, where you see several different specific many people, mostly people of the higher castes.
Mm-hmm.
They're all frolicking, drinking, eating. There's a big giant I guess bunch of skewered nugs like on a spit being spun around.
Mm-hmm.
Up at the front, you see several prominent figures. Now, Theoben, you do not see King Kine, but you do see King Kine's wives, plural, his harem, if you say, if you will. And I will show you the harem. This is roughly what they look like.
Aww.
Okay, so from left to right,
Oh
we
my
have
gosh.
Sansa. Sansa, who is like a bit of a singer, musician. Wanda is the good cook. Diva is the sexy but ditzy one. Portia is the main wife. If you would refer to her as the queen, she's the main leader. She's the main wife of the harem, right there in the center. Gina is the clean freak. Velma is the smart one, and Helga is the strong and husky one. They are all seated right next to each other. You see that there is a throne that normally is supposed to be where King Kine would sit. It's currently not being used. It's off to the side. But there is another chair that is sitting right next to Portia, the main wife of King Kine. And it is indeed Mr. Sevian Hannick himself who's sitting next to them. In addition to that, so with Sevian, the Portia is to his left. Directly to his right is another individual.
Oh gosh.
Uh-oh. Oh,
I
thank
knew
God.
it. I knew it.
Sir Darylin Barris.
Thank God.
I've been waiting for him ever since you said it in one of your Inquisition videos.
Yes. Sir Darylin Barris is dressed in his Templar uniform. Cedric, I think it's just safe to say that he is fairly well known amongst the Templar Order. He is... he basically tries to do everything that he can that is right. And anyway, he's sitting right next to Sevian, like I said, breaking some bread and chewing on some bread as he's listening to some sort of intent conversation that Sevian seems to be having with the rest of the harem.
Can I presume Theo recognizes the Templar armor?
I will say yes. Anyone who wishes to try to recognize Sir Barris may roll a knowledge, I'll say local or knowledge history, whichever the two you want to roll for. Okay. So you don't know anything additional to that.
Okay.
Both Theoben and Andrea will recognize Sir Barris. Connor will point him out and say, That's Sir Barris. He's one of the members of the council over in New Denerim.
That's interesting.
Very.
I wonder why he's here.
Right. Cedric, would you know?
Oh.
No, I wouldn't know why. Or I don't know why. He's famous, though. I've heard a lot about him.
Well, maybe you and him might be able to talk the same language. You know, you guys being both Templars.
Isn't Cedric
Sort of.
kind
Connor
of,
says.
you know?
Initiate.
He's from Ferelden Circle.
Okay, he's from the Ferelden Circle, so he survived. It could be that. Yeah, so somehow he survived the Ferelden Circle massacre.
Or he could have joined after it reformed, I suppose.
He could have also joined after it reformed. Yeah.
Do I recognize him in the sense that I knew him?
I don't think you would have.
Okay.
I'll say that you. Well, what would you prefer? If you knew him, you would have known him to be one of the good Templars, or you can choose to not know him, in which case he would have joined after the Ferelden Circle reformed. What do you prefer? I'll leave it up to you, because it doesn't make any difference to me.
Well, I don't know how old he's supposed to be. He might not be old enough.
I would say he's probably in his 30s, is my guess. My guess is 30s, mid-30s.
So 12
I wouldn't
years
put
ago,
him in his 40s.
So 12 years ago, he would have been in his 20s?
Yeah, which is possible.
Early 20s?
Yeah, it's possibly could have been a young Templar at the time.
Oh gosh,
So-
sure, but probably not very well. Like,
Okay.
I think I would recognize him, and he might recognize me.
I mean, it's been a while, so it's been many years. So, okay, so let's say that he was there. Somehow he survived the massacre. And you remembered him to at least being pretty cool. He was a pretty cool Templar.
Okay.
That's all down. Definitely cooler than some of the other Templars there.
Yeah. Cedric?
Yes.
You see you sitting at the table up there.
Yeah, another Templar.
Yeah, I know him.
A survivor?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't know what circle he's from. Never mind.
Yeah, he's from Ferelden.
So he must have survived the attack or the fall.
Somehow, apparently.
Connor said that he's a part of the
Ferelden Circle, of the Council.
the council. Okay.
He's a fair Templar. He's a nice guy. It's just I recognize him. He might recognize me. Apostate.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm.
I'm just kind of standing with my back to the table.
Yeah, and there's no way to hide a Kunari in the
Kind of
crowd. Especially not in a crowd of dwarves. That would be insane. And Andrea, do you feel comfortable being here?
I just don't know what'll happen, because I draw attention, and I might draw the wrong kind right now. Then again, it could be super cool, and it could be like finding somebody that you knew once, and that they're alive, and you didn't expect them to be. So, I'm happy he's alive.
I mean, this was years ago, yes? Are you sure that he would I mean, there are other Kunari. Are you sure he would recognize your face?
No?
Well, even if he did, Connor says, this document states that I'm with you and I'm affiliated with the senior enchanter at the circle, so I would think that that should be sufficient.
Oh, bless you, Connor. And I hug him.
Connor kind of blushes when you say that. Sure.
Sure.
Alright. I
Okay.
guess now we mingle.
Sure.
Right.
The dwarves are way too drunk to really even notice that there's a Kunari in their midst. Way too drunk. So they don't even though you guys are not dwarves, they're like whatever. They're just enjoying the drinks. It's flowing. They're biting into a nug leg here and there.
Oh, I'm home. I'm at home.
I don't know. Theobin's stomach might be growling at this point because he hasn't had a good Orzammar cooked meal in a while.
Yeah, well, he'll tuck into some nug roast. Yeah.
Yes, there's like a table where there's like a buffet laid out where you can grab whatever you want, and you can hear Sevian laughing. A very charming / annoying, however you want to take it, laugh.
That's such a grinding laugh.
It seems like the various harem, half of them seem to be engaged in what he's saying, the other half seem to kind of try to politely nod and smile. Yes, Portia, the head, she's the one that's right next to him, and she's one of the people that looks like she's trying to, be. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's nice to know. And things like that.
I like her. Well, I presume that because it's a place for merchants, that Theo would recognize a lot of faces there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is you're in your element. You know all these people. And
But
everybody knows you. Some of them even call out, say, "Hail Theobin!" One of them tries to clink a mug at you, whether you're holding a mug or not.
Hey, person! Whatever the name is.
Fellow dwarf Morse Merchant.
Yes.
Dwarf Merchant number 3.
That guy.
Cedric. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just he would be engaging. He would be. But go back to Cedric. It's fine.
Cedric would kind of like stand up straight and straighten out his armor and approach the Templar very confidently, but he's kind of like at every step he's like, "What the hell am I doing? I'm an idiot for doing this." Like, turn around, you still have a chance. He hasn't seen you yet, and then like as soon as he gets close enough to where the Templar sees him, he's like, "Damn, I should have ran."
Cedric is doing this by himself. He's approaching him alone.
Cedric just kind of started walking there. I don't know if anyone followed him or
Cedric's walking up towards the table. If anyone is following him, they can, or they can just stay put and let him go to the table by himself. I don't know if people are. I think Connor is going to stand next to Andrea just in case. So he'll stay right next to Andrea. Okay, so Cedric, you approach the table. Some of the harem, some of the wives look towards your direction. I guess some of them will look at you a little curiously. The diva, the really pretty, flirtatious one, kind of gives you a bit of a wink, a little bit. and as for Cerberus, he will see you approach, and he will say, "Greetings, my boy."
At which Cedric will kneel and say, "Cerberus, I am Cedric Ashwood of the Navaran Circle."
He says, "Really? A member of the Order? I'm surprised to meet someone from the Order down here."
"Alas, sir, I'm but an initiate. I have yet taken my vows and be knighted."
Huh. He says, "How long have you been training for then?"
Out of character, it's like, how long? I don't know how long I've been an initiate for.
How long would you like to be? an initiate for? And I'll let you know if that makes sense. What do you envision?
I was gonna say since like 18, or whenever they would let him join 18.
And how old are you
18,
now?
22.
If you don't mind me asking, why are you not wearing our uniform?
Alas, sir, I've been kidnapped. At which he'll tell him everything.
Oh,
He's not one not
With
like-
Sevian right next to him?
with,
Sevian,
about
by
the
the way,
boat,
is...
about the boat.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
and
is Andrea near Theo at all?
Probably, yeah.
Because he's just
Probably.
gonna kind of whisper like, "What's his plan?"
I don't know.
so he'll say that like he was captured and awoke on a boat and managed to escape, and he's traveling with companions.
He says, that's very strange. He says, based on the looks of you, it would look like that you're just about ready to become a full-fledged Templar. Of course, with good behavior. Kidnapped, you say? That's very disturbing indeed, he says as he rubs his chin.
Yes, sir.
Would you like me to look into this?
Honestly, sir, I would. I'm very curious about it.
I'm not sure how much help I can be from here, all the way here, but if you will allow me, perhaps I can send word back to the Order of Navarra and see if I can determine something. Your name was Ashwood, you said?
Yes, sir. Cedric Ashwood.
He'll write this down.
And he'll be kind of like clenching his fist, kind of like, like, kind of worried, but not like trying not to visibly show it.
He'll notice this, and he'll say, is there anything wrong, my lad?
I will not lie to a fellow member of the order. And at which he'll stand up because he was kneeling the whole time, and stare at him like right in the eyes and say, I was accused of taking lyrium beforehand, before my knighthood, and assaulting a mage. Before this matter was cleared up, I was knocked unconscious. Or I fell unconscious and woke up on that ship. So
That's quite a serious accusation.
I am well aware of that, sir, and
One that I would definitely not take lightly.
I am well aware of that, and I can't avoid it for the rest of my life. It's just not my nature. It's not how I was raised or trained. I am willing to accept any of your any punishment you see fit.
Well, he says, let me at least try to find out what the Navarran order has to say first. If what you said wasn't true, I do not understand why you would simply start telling me the story right off the bat anyway. For what would you have to gain by doing that?
Either really stupid or really honest.
I think he actually would say that. You would either be really stupid or really honest. He would actually say that.
Official title is now.
I'd like to say I'm honest, sir, but I'll leave it in your judgment.
It's because we're from the same place, so the same thought came to head.
Sevian, who finally notices you and says, "Hey," he says, are you friends of Eric by any chance?"
Out of character, is that a yes?
You don't know. I don't think you know anybody named by that name.
No. Okay.
That's strange. He says, that uniform. He says, pointing at your burgundy clothes. He says, I could have sworn you look just like you. I assumed that you were affiliated with him.
No, these This armor is from my captors. During my escape, I acquired it.
Huh, interesting, he says. Sevian says. At this, Sir Barris kind of looks towards him a little oddly, but he decides not to say anything. Sevian says, Sevian Hannick, as he holds out his hand to shake.
Cedric would bow politely and take his hand and say, Cedric Ashwood.
Always a pleasure to meet a fellow initiate, is what I overheard.
Yes, sir.
Well, good luck to you, he says. The world needs more Templars.
Thank you, sir.
I used to be a seeker myself, he says as he flashes a smile.
That's very honorable, that's a very honorable profession.
No need to be nervous, he says. I understand that there's a little bit of, sibling rivalry between the two orders, the Seekers and the Templars, but I assure you, I have yet to have any personal issues with any Templars that I have met. Especially this one right here, he says as he pats Sir Barris on the back.
Kiss ass!
Cedric will be kind of doing this in his head. He's like, oh, thank God he thought it was just a rivalry and not that Alistair's right out back. That's why he was oh, nice to meet you. Never heard of you before.
How much of this could we see going on?
You can see the whole thing.
I think I might wander over at this point.
Yeah, do you want to eavesdrop? If you want to eavesdrop, roll me a perception.
No, I think I'm just gonna walk over.
That's fine. Connor will walk over with you. Connor, when he walks up, he will kneel down, and he will say, Sir Barris, and Sir Barris immediately says, Connor Garin, I'm surprised to see you here. And at this, Connor looks surprised. You know me, sir? Of course, he says. You're the son of Arl Eamon. Of course I know you. I don't think we've officially met, he says, as he smiles and he holds out a hand. Yes, sir. Pleased to meet you. It's an honor, Connor says as he kind of looks a little awkward, shaking Sir Barris's hand. I am here with Cedric, Templar Initiate, and a fellow colleague of mine from the Orlesian Circle. He doesn't say her name. He just kind of goes.
I'm gonna bow as well, and I'm gonna look at him. I'm wondering if there's any glimmer of recognition.
Let me roll for that. Let me roll. 18. At this, Sir Barris says, he goes, Andrea.
So Barris.
You've been relocated to the Orlesian Circle, the White Spire, all this time?
Not all this time, there, but newly developed. It is good to see someone from home again.
Yes. It's good to see a familiar face. You'll have to excuse me. I didn't realize that you were even still alive.
I didn't know you were either.
So it's nice to hear that you've been... I trust that the Orlesian Circle has been treating you well. I heard that it's rather nice, far more luxurious, the ones in Ferelden, in the Ferelden Circle. Far more grandiose. How do you like it there?
I've only recently gone. I'm not a full member yet, if you know.
I see.
I think Theo would get quite nervous if he looked over and saw Andrea and the Templar speaking, so he might kind of shuffle over there.
He says, I have to admit this is a little awkward, but in a way you sort of saved my life. indirectly.
What? How so, sir?
I suppose you know what ended up happening at the Ferelden Circle?
I do.
I was one of the Templars that were sent to go searching for you after you had escaped.
At this, Theo would definitely see it. Cedric's arm would kind of slowly go down to his axe, like his battle axe. Not to like draw it or anything, but like just to get ready.
Instinctively.
And he says, during one of my excursions looking for you, that was when things went down in the Ferelden Circle, and, well, you know the rest.
I do.
If it weren't for you, in a twisted sort of way, I probably would have perished with the rest of them. So I guess in a way, by you escaping, you did technically save my life indirectly.
I'm glad for that, sir, but I... It was a long time ago.
It was. But it sounds that you have recently been making your way back to a quite upstanding circle in the White Spire, so...
I am trying.
Good for you, Andrea. I'm happy for you.
At that, Theo will slowly see Cedric's hand, like, okay, everything's okay.
Truly, sir, it is good to see you, alive and well.
Thank you. What brings all of you here? I don't think he laughs a little bit. I don't think you all are dwarven merchants.
Well, I am.
He looks towards you, and he says, "Oh, my apologies." He will hold out his hand. I am Sir Delrin Barris.
Pleasure to meet you. I have heard your name in passing. Theoben Solney.
Mr. Solney, a pleasure, he says as he smiles.
And what brings you here, Sir Barris?
Sevian says, well, Sevian pipes up and says, this man right here, he was the one who assisted me in returning the Anvil of the Void back to Orzammar, where it rightfully belongs with the dwarves. Fine dwarves here.
Oh, very noble.
I heard about that. The two of you must be heroes in this place.
Yes, he says, I do everything that I can to help the people of Ferelden. I will always do what I can to serve the people of Ferelden.
Oh. Well, as a Ferelden native, I find that so wonderful, sir.
He says, you are quite welcome, my lady, he says as he flashes you another smile. I came here and in order to inform His Highness, but apparently King Kine himself is still away on business. Portia pipes up and says, yes, our husband has not arrived yet. We expected him to have arrived sooner, but perhaps negotiations with the people at Kalsharak are taking a little bit longer.
Negotiations?
You know, he says, if you need help, if the people of Orzammar need help, I might take a trip over to Kalsharak and see if I could find out what's keeping our fine king. Anything to help you. You just tell me. Sir Barris turns to him and says, that's very generous of you, Sevian. Truly, you have been quite busy around here in Ferelden. Oh, yes, I do what I can for those in need, he says as he takes a swig of his mug.
Sir Barris, you were a part of getting back the anvil?
Indeed, I found it quite surprising when I found Sevian knocking on the castle door in New Denerim with a caravan of sorts that was carrying a large structure on a plank. I later was told that it happened to be the Anvil of the Void, which was apparently stolen by the Carta. Yes, I ended up finding a Carta nest not too far away from Redcliffe, or New Denerim, excuse me, not too far away from New Denerim. And when myself and my men managed to clear out this Carta nest, lo and behold, this bizarre-looking object was there. I didn't know what it was at the time, so I went over to New Denerim to see if anyone could determine what it was, and as luck would have it, it happened to be a missing dwarven paragon artifact that was stolen within their midst.
Yeah. Can Cedric roll?
His eyes? Sure.
No, like to see.
His eyes.
Can I do a bullshit check?
Yeah.
Is that empathy or
I will say communication. To
communication?
catch if someone is lying or not.
Yeah, okay. Oh goodness. I mean,
Oh my god, nice job!
what are the odds?
No. Okay, so
Yeah, I just rolled an 11. Not so good.
okay, so Andrea's not sure if he's lying. Here's the problem. Theobin buys it completely. Somehow Theobin's like, I was like, oh yeah, he's totally telling the truth.
Oh.
I believe him.
Those
I
darn
believe
Carta members.
with all those ones. Sorry, it's all ones.
At least it can only get better from here.
Oh god.
Cedric, however, believes that he's lying. So, but Theobin is like, this man is telling the truth, man. How could I have doubted him?
Totally was wrong.
We were getting to like each other so much.
Well, thanks for stone for that, I guess we can go.
He says,
Oh god, I hated
right,
saying that.
I know. But it's the way the dice rolled.
Wow. So.
Or the-
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Wow. So you cleared out that nest all by yourself?
Oh, no, not by myself. My men and I did. Required all of us, plus several of our horses, to be able to drag the anvil over to New Denerim nearby.
Wow, that's remarkable.
Yes, lucky I was there, but you know, the Maker works in mysterious ways. Sometimes he has a hand in placing us exactly where we need to be, when we need to be there. Isn't that right, Sir Barris? He says as he clinks a glass, and Sir Barris kind of just nods without saying anything.
So, you must tell me, how did you find it? Your amazing perception skills, perhaps?
There's been some, he says, well, there's been some rumors saying that the Carta has been out and about ever since King Kine opened Orzammar to the surface, and some of my leads led me to, like I said, one of their nesting grounds, one of their bases. I wasn't really sure what I would find there. I just wanted to rid them of the surface. There are plenty of very perfectly good law-abiding dwarves, but sometimes it takes a few bad apples to spoil the rest of the basket. I was doing what I could to help, and as luck would have it, the Maker led me to this, the Anvil of the Void.
That is a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Connor
Really,
says,
sir.
yes,
Yeah.
beautiful story.
Thrilling
A true hero
heroics.
to the dwarves.
Yes.
Sir Barris says, yes, that's why Mr. Hannick, based on his deeds, has become one of the candidates to become the next ruler of Ferelden.
I see.
Ruler of Ferelden, we could be meeting the future king right now, Cedric. Exciting, isn't it?
Riveting.
He says, of course, he said, it is completely up to the council. He says, I care not whether I become the ruler, but if you do decide to choose me, I promise that I will be the best Ferelden ruler that I can be. Hopefully, my actions speak for itself.
This guy
Yes, your
seems legit.
actions definitely have spoken for your character.
He smiles. He takes another swig.
I hate this so much.
Oh my gosh. I assume they're drinking like dwarven ale right now.
Portia asks, yes, they are. Portia asks, if I may, Sir Barris, who are the other candidates that you are also considering? Sir Barris says, there are two others that we're looking at. One is Sir Cauthrian, who used to serve the king before his untimely death. She fortunately was able to survive the blight, barely. I don't think that she will be able to fight as well as she did before, but I would think that she would make a very good leader. The other person we are considering seriously is Maximilian. You mean the Maximilian? Yes, Mr. Sunworth. If he doesn't mind leaving his spot as the Viscount of Kirkwall.
Oh.
It seems like stiff competition you have there, Sevian.
Yes, we're open to more candidates, Sir Barris says, but for the time being, those are the three. He says, I just have to say how honored I am to be even considered to be one of the candidates next to such extremely high esteemed people, such as Sir Cauthrian and Maximilian Sunworth.
Of course. Of course. But thank you for your time.
Indeed, Sir Barris says. Truly the members of the council, myself, Nathaniel Howe, and Kane will have much to discuss when we decide.
Oh. Kane is on the council, is he?
Oh yes, indeed.
No.
You know him?
Oh yes, he's a dear friend.
Ah, Sir
Really?
Barris says. We thought that it would be important for us to try to have equal representation within the council. I myself represent more of the warriors side of things. Nathaniel Howe is a bit more roguish, and then of course we have our mage, Kane.
Huh. Interesting.
Interesting.
About the situation that you were going to look into, Sir Barris, where would you like me to be?
So Sir Barris will say, this whole situation bothers me greatly, and I think that if such a Templar like yourself is being accused, we should get to the bottom of it as soon as possible. I would prefer, while I have many other duties with the council, I think that we can spare some time for me to at least address this, even though I am not technically formally working for the Order at this moment. I believe that this is definitely a duty. As my duty, I should look into this. And if you would accompany me with whatever companions we wish to come, I can sponsor us a trip to Navarra and speak with the Order.
Of course, sir. I would gladly I will gladly follow you to Navarra. I am duty and honor bound to do so.
Very well, he says. I will be leaving tomorrow morning.
Of course. Would you like me to wait here with you, or may I wait outside?
For the benefit of everyone's interests, I would recommend that you stay behind here.
Of course.
I appreciate you divulging this information to me, but now I have to do the responsible thing and keep you close.
Of course, sir.
I hope you understand.
I do.
Okay.
Cedric would actually go to where he can still see him, but try as hard as possible to just sit there and meditate,
Okay.
to block everything else out around him.
Alright.
Kenna and Halasair, you guys are just hanging out, so what's going on between the two of you?
Well, Halasair is still very much in simmer and pace mode. She's going to be like that for a while. If Kenna does not speak during that time, then she'll probably go over and just quietly climb Owlet. So whenever and if you're going to speak, you let me know.
She could follow. Can she follow you in the tree? And they could just have a talk in the tree.
I don't mind.
Okay.
That's kind of up to Owlet, not me.
Oh.
Owlet doesn't move. He doesn't
Yeah,
seem to
he's just
react to
standing
you
there.
climbing the tree. He's just a tree.
Okay. So.
Yeah, you can
all right.
get up the tree.
All right. Well, I'll walk up to the tree and see Holly there, and she's trying to cool off. And she'll look up and say, "Can we talk? I could go up, or you could come down. Either or."
Oh.
Okay. And she climbs down.
Oh. Okay. I'm sorry for what happened to you in your past with that guy.
You had no hand in that.
Doesn't mean that it's not a sad thing that happened to you. I don't know. You remind me a lot of my grandmother. She was fiery like you. But she used to tell me that fire in the heart sends smoke to the head. And I just want to make sure that you're careful that the fire you're kindling for this enemy of yours, that it doesn't burn you too. You know?
I appreciate the sentiment. And I appreciate your words. It is not for my life alone that I am furious. The judgment that needs to be brought against him is not for me. There is an entire settlement he destroyed when we could have saved it, but he chose not to. He stopped me from saving them.
He'll pay for his crimes, Hallie. I
Yes,
promise you.
he will.
Don't worry. We're gonna get him. Just keep your head. Don't make any, rash decisions. We have to be smart about it if we're gonna destroy him. Because it's not enough that he dies easily. It should be as painful as it was for the things that he did.
And there I don't know if I agree either. Justice needs to be served, but there is a line between that and torture. Much as my heart might want to see one, I still know what's right.